Hi, almost Shabbat Shalom. I wanted to just give you an update of what's going on this weekend and where also we are in the Torah portion, because I think it's really relevant for us at Temple Har Zion. So this week's Torah portion is Parshat Yitro, and Yitro is Moses' father-in-law. He's a Kohen Midian, a priest of Midian, but as we see in this Torah portion, that identity becomes second to the fact that he's Moses' father-in-law. And we talked in the last few weeks about the Israelites leaving Mitzrayim, leaving Egypt, and being freed from slavery, and what that really means, and how there's no handbook for freedom. And so once they were in the Midbar, they weren't technically in the Midbar. Even when they were outside of the bounds of Egypt, before they had even crossed the Red Sea, they were getting nervous and they were very scared. And they said, what was it, for want of graves in Egypt that you brought us out here in the wilderness to die? Yes, they started panicking already. And God said, Moses said, God, just give me a chance and give God a chance. And I promise, it'll be okay. We'll get to the promised land. Somewhere over there's a land flowing with milk and honey, and I promise we'll get there. So the people had faith a little bit, enough to quiet down to get through the sea and Micha Mocha and all that, and then they were thirsty. So it's hard. It's hard being a leader, and Moses didn't know how to be a leader just as much as the people didn't know how to be free, just as much as God didn't know how to guide the people at that point. The character of God, of course, in the Torah, not the source of all. So there's a huge learning curve, and everyone was learning together. And I think that's really where we are as a synagogue. And I think it's wonderful, and I'm so grateful that this is the wisdom of our Torah to help us through transitions and changes in leadership. That's what the Torah is all about. How does Moses learn how to lead the people? How does he learn to set up teams? That's this week's Torah portion. How does he set up teams to take on different responsibilities? How does he deal with conflict and challenges to his authority? I mean, our Torah is really about that. So that's where we find ourselves, also, like I said, as a synagogue. And I'm learning from Moses' mistakes. And I want to learn from Moses' mistakes. So I just want to tell everyone, I want to tell you all that I acknowledge that we're in the Midbar, we're in the transition, and sometimes the transition is messy. I mean, right here, right before chapter 20, God says, all right, tell the people not to come up the mountain lest they break through, because I don't want that to happen. And Moses says, but you already told us that, so the people aren't going to do that. And God says, oh yeah, okay, fine. That's my paraphrasing of it. So sometimes messages get confused. Sometimes things are repeated and systems aren't yet in place, but things are coming along. So we just have to trust the process. As Mordecai Kaplan, the father of Reconstructionist Judaism, says, God is the process. And the process of developing spiritual community, sacred community, the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, beloved community, all of that is process, and it doesn't happen overnight. So as we continue to learn each other, you get to know me and I get to know you, and I should say I'm still loving my one-on-ones and getting to know people and communicate with you. We will get there together. We will get to this promised land of security. And really, the promised land is comfort and knowledge. We'll just be comfortable with each other. And so I want to encourage you right now, if there are things that you want, things that you need from me, please come and tell me. Or email me, or call me, or text me. If you've communicated with me in email, you see that at the bottom of my signature, I have a scheduler. You can just plug yourself into my schedule, and it'll ask you, what do you want me to think about? What do you want to talk about? Just type it in. That's it. And I'll see you whenever you come in. Feel free to give me a call. You can call the office phone, and that goes right to my cell phone. But I want to know about the impact of this community on your life already. I want to know your history with Temple Har Zion. I want to know what things that we've done in the past were meaningful for you, what changes you would like to see. Last week we didn't get to do this, unfortunately, because there's so much stuff I want to do, and we just can't do it all. I'm only one person. I certainly can't do it all. I want to know what your favorite tunes are for different parts of services, and some people are already sending me recordings or suggestions or links to things that they've heard. So all of that, right? We are co-creating spiritual communities, co-creating sacred community together. So you are so empowered. You should feel 100% empowered to let me know what you need in order to continue to feel comfortable here in our sanctuary, in our services, and our programming, because I want to hear it. So that's a little bit about the Torah portion and what I think about it. You'll hear more tonight and tomorrow, of course, and we'll continue our Shabbat morning discussions about leadership and what are the Ten Commandments and why have they taken such a place in our lives. We'll look at it in context. It's very interesting. I was just going through this like line by line, and the way that we think of it is not necessarily the way it's written in the Torah. So we're gonna look at that tomorrow morning. What's going on after that? Oh yes, Sunday morning. First thing, worldwide wrap. Oh, how exciting! So the mitzvah of tefillin is such a wonderful one. If you've never laid tefillin before, I encourage you to come. We'll have extra sets of tefillin. It's an opportunity to be bound to the Holy Blessed One and to unbind your binds. However that you need that to be for you. What else? Then, oh yes, the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is happening. Our Hebrew chant has been canceled for that Sunday because we've got so much stuff going on, so we'll have it again in March. Super Bowl party, come on at 5. Bring some yummy kosher food or whatever. I'll post down below the needs that we still have. Then next week, I don't believe there's anything in particular going on next week, which is really rare for us. Let me double check the calendar. Yeah, I don't think there's anything in particular. Someone let me know if I'm wrong. The one thing that I do see is that next Friday night is our Hebrew school service, which is wonderful. I don't know if everyone knows, this month, being that it's February, in addition to being Black History Month, is also Jewish Disabilities Awareness Month. So we're going to offer a very inclusive service on that Friday night, Friday the 9th. So feel free to bring your friends, bring your friends with kids, let people know. It'll be led by the Hebrew school also, and they're looking forward to teaching and to leading. So I believe that's it. Oh, one more thing. I'm going on vacation in 2 weeks. Leaving on vacation for the 12th. It's on the calendar. I'm going to Florida with my family, which is wonderful because I haven't had a vacation in quite some time. Moving does not count, neither does maternity leave, people keep telling me. So I'm looking forward to going on vacation. And I think that's it. So I'm looking forward to seeing you either Friday night, either tonight or tomorrow morning or during the Super Bowl. It'll be very wonderful. And please come out, be in community, come learn with us, come sing with us, come daven with us. And until then, have a wonderful weekend and Shabbat Shalom. Take care.